Welcome back to the course on digital logic and computer architecture. Now, currently we are just discussing about the basic components or functionalities of our computer architecture, how computer works and what are the components that we have in our computer. So, we know that it works on von Neumann stored program principle, and we store the information in memory and processor is going to bring the information from memory and it will execute step by step. So now what is a program? Already we have mentioned that it is nothing but the sequence of steps, and every step may be treated as an instruction. And in every step basically we do some arithmetic and logic operation which is performed in your ALU. And for each operation we have to generate different set of control signals. Now, very basic or simple instruction cycle we have discussed, and it said that it is again two-step fetch and execute. First it will fetch the information from memory and bring it to the processors, and after that control unit will interpret that particular instruction and accordingly it will perform the job. And these are the components that we have discussed already. So this is processor, CPU, main component, and this is the main memory, and this processor and main memory is connected through this particular system bus. And already we have mentioned that system bus is having three components: data bus, address bus and control bus. So this CPU and memory, okay, these two components can be treated as a closed system, and our processor is going to work with the contents of main memory. And how to bring the information to the main memory, or whatever result we have in the main memory, how we are going to give it to the users, basically through input output devices, and those input output devices will be connected through this particular IO modules. Okay, so in a nutshell this is the top view of all computers, and all computers works in this particular principle. So in last class we have seen that we are having four special purpose register or some dedicated register which is used for some special purposes. These are PC, program counter, IR, instruction register, MAR, memory address register, and MBR, memory buffer register. Okay, so MAR and MBR, these are the two interfacing registers, and it is going to make the interface of the processor with the external entities, maybe main memories or maybe input output devices. Now today we are going to see one example how we are going to execute a program. Okay, now here I am just putting some information, and if you look into it, what are the information we have written that memory is one particular term. You know what is memory. We have used one more particular term, CPU register. Already we have talked about it, that inside processor we are having some storage element. These storage elements are known as by registers. One more term we are writing over here, PC, program counter. Already we have discussed it. IR, instruction registers. But along with that we are having a new term AC. The AC stands for accumulator. Okay. So accumulator is also a registers, and in that register we are going to accumulate our results, or it will be used in ALU operation. So that's why it is, the name is given as accumulator, but you just think that it is a register where you can store our information. And apart from that, you just see we are having some numbers like 300, 301, 1940, 2941, like that. So whatever information we are having over here in this particular slide, you just think that everything is written in hexadecimal number. So all the numbers we are going to treat in hexadecimal. Just you say that whatever number we are writing in this particular slide everything in hexadecimal form. Okay, so in hexadecimal it is a base 16 system, so we can represent from 0 to 15, and already I have mentioned that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 for these 6 values we use the alphabet A, B, C, D, E and F. Okay, now all those things are written in hexadecimal. Now we are going to interpret it and we'll see what does this program do. Okay, so before going to that, I'm just going to have a slightly again revise these things. What is a binary number system and what it is represent and what we can do. So first we are going to talk about the address bus and data bus. So this is the size of address bus. What will happen in this particular case? You just see if size of address bus is 0, then the values will be all 0, then in decimal equivalent is 0, or hexadecimal we are going to say 0 and 0. So this is the minimum value that we can represent, and if all are 1, then it is your 255 in decimal number system or FF in hexadecimal number system, because all of you know that FF is nothing but 15 into 16 plus 15. Okay, so this is your FF. Now, so the maximum value is your FF in hexadecimal and minimum is 0. So if we are having an address bus of size 8, then what will happen? We can go up to 255 memory location in decimal number system. So this is some example I am giving. Say if it is your contents of this particular address bus is 0, 1, 0, 1 and 0, 1, 1, 1. Then the binary equivalent of this number is your 87, and in hexadecimal we are going to get it is 57. Similarly, if it is your 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, then in decimal it is 6 and hexadecimal also it is 6. So basically if this is the contents of my address bus, it is going to locate or point to that particular memory location. Now similarly, if I am having an address bus of size 10, then what will happen? This is the maximum value, all ones. So this is your 1023 the maximum value, that means it will go from 0 to 1023, and hexadecimal we are going to write 3FF. So that means in this particular case the size of your memory can, or we can indicate some particular memory location, and total number of memory location will be 1023. Similarly, if the size of address bus is 12, then we can go up to 4095. So like that, in general, if we are having n bit of address bus, then we can go up to 2 to the power n minus 1. So in general, it will be 2 to the power n minus 1 if the size of address bus is 1. So these are the situations that we have. Now, this is the same slide here we are having, but in the last column now I am putting the size. So with 8 bit address bus, we can go up to 256 memory location. With 10 bit of address bus, it will be your 1023 memory location, basically 1024 memory location, which go from zeros to 1023. So in this particular case, we say this is your 1K. Like that, if the size of address bus is 12, we are going to get 4K memory location. For 16 bit, it is your 2 to the 16, so it is your 64K. Like that, already I have mentioned for 20, we are going to get 2 to the 20, which is your 1 mega. 2 to the power 30 is your 1 giga. Like that, if I am going for 32, then we are going to get 4 giga memory location. So to address any of the memory location of a memory space of 4 giga, we need 32 bit of address line. Next one is your size of data bus or memory location. So it is the same thing. If we are having say 8 bit of information, then what will happen? In case of say if we are going to work with say integers, then what will happen? We can go from minus 127 to plus 127. It is in sign magnitude form, but what will happen in 2's complement form? We know that it will go from minus 128 to plus 127. Okay, so these are the combination. Now what is the contents? It will go from all 0 to all 1. That means total 256 different combinations. So we have to assign some decimal values to those particular representations. And already we have seen how we are going to represent negative numbers if we are using 2's complement form. So sum of this particular bit pattern will be used for indicate positive integer, or sum will be used to indicate negative integer, and that one representation is going to represent our 0. So like that, in case of your size 12, then we can go from minus 2047 to plus 2047 in case of sign ignition form, or you are having this many representation. So this is the way that we are going to look into it. So in case of your 32 bits, so it is just see that since we are having 32, so half will go for your negative numbers, half will go for the positive numbers. So this is your minus 2 to the power 31 minus 1 to plus 2 to the power 31 minus 1 with 0. And if it is in sign magnitude form, but in case of your 2's complement form, we are going to get one additional representation which is equal to minus 2 to the power 31. Okay, so this is the way we are going to interpret the information or data that we have in our memory location. Okay. Now I can coming back to this particular situation. Now you just see what basically it is doing. So now again we come back to these things. Already we said that these are some registers and this is the memory location. We are having a memory and these are the address of the memory location, and we are working with 3 memory locations now, 300, 301 and 302. In the same slide we are having same information, 3 memory location, and along with that we are having additional 2 memory location, 940 and 941. Okay, and inside that we are having some values in this particular memory. Now we have to interpret this particular values. Okay, secondly we just see that here basically what will happen. Now I can give you some information. We are having 3 instructions. This is the first instruction, this is the second instruction, and this one is the third instruction. This is your first instruction, this is the second instruction, and this is the third instruction. And secondly, in first instruction or all these 3 instructions, I can say that this is my fetch cycle and this is my execute cycle. Okay, now we have to interpret those particular information, whatever contents we have over here, and we see basically what we are doing. Now in this particular case, now I can say that in 300 memory location we are having first instruction, 301 memory location we are having second instruction, and 302 memory location we are having third instruction. Okay, and what it does and how it is going to do, to interpret it properly we have to slightly see the internal organization of my processor also, then only you can properly interpret this information. Secondly, we are having these 2 memory locations, 940 and 941. Here I am having two values 3 and 2. So in this 3 instruction, what will happen? We will see that this information of these 2 memory locations, 940 and 941, are treated as data to this particular program code. Why I have interpreted it like that? So what is the contents of this particular memory location 300? You shall see it is your 1940. Okay. Now if I look into it, then we'll find that this is 940 is a address of a memory location, and in this particular memory locations we are having information 3. And after execution of this instruction, you just see that initially we have some garbage value in this particular register accumulator, but after execution of this particular step, you see that 3 has gone to this particular register accumulator. So in this particular case, what will happen? We will say that the memory contents of this memory location 1940 is having two components. First component is 1, it is going to indicate that we are going to perform a particular operation, and to perform this particular operation we need some data from where we are going to get data, say from this particular memory location 940. This is the way we are going to interpret it, and if we are going to interpret in this particular way, then we can see what operation we are going to perform by this particular 3 instructions. So in a nutshell, this is the analysis part, and we have seen by looking into the contents of this particular slide, and we see that the contents of memory location can be interpreted like that. One part is going to indicate some operation, and second part is going to indicate the address of the operand, because what will happen, if we are going to work with some data, then we have to give the address. It may be in our memory, so we have to provide the address of that memory location from where we are going to fetch our data. So this address is coming as a part of our instruction. Okay. Now here we are doing some operation, making these things, and finally after completion of these things, you just see that the finally in 941 location we are going to get 5. Initial value before starting the execution, it is 3 and 2, but after performing or completing these 3 instructions, or execution, after execution of these 3 instructions, in 941 memory location the contents become 5. That means I can interpret it like that. Basically we are going to take first data from memory location 940, which is your 3. Then we are taking the next data from next memory location 941, which is 2. We are adding them together and the result is 5, and this 5 is now stored in memory location 941. This is the effect that we are getting. Now how we have performed it? Now just to explain it, we have to slightly know about the internal structure of our computer. Now in this particular case, you just see this is the processor, CPU, and memory is connected, main memory is connected to the processor, and here it is connected through this particular system bus, which is having address, data, and control. Now as for my distance, I know that the program is stored in memory location 300, 301 and 302, and my data are available in 940 and 941. Okay. Now here you just see that MAR and MBR, memory address register and memory buffer register, they are the interfacing register, and it is connected to the main memory. We know what is your program counter and IR. Okay, so this is your instruction register. So once we fetch the instruction, we will put it in the instruction register, and that will give as an input to the control unit. Now control unit is going to interpret that instruction, and accordingly it is going to perform the job. These are R0 and R1. We say we are having 2 additional registers inside this processor to store our temporary result or store our data. And ALU is connected like that. The accumulator, this is your register. One of the input to the ALU is given from the accumulator, and second input is going to give it from this particular internal bus. So this is second input is connected to this particular internal bus. So once we get both this particular information, then what will happen? We are going to trigger the appropriate signal, they either add or subtract like that. Then result will be put in this particular register Z. Okay. Now later on we can transfer this particular result from Z register to my memory, or maybe to some other internal register also, if we need this information or need this result later on to put as an input to some other instruction. Okay. Now here I have just mentioned the fetch cycle. We know what fetch cycle does. It fetches the instruction and put it in your instruction register. So for that, what we need, we have to know the address from where we are going to get this particular instruction. And already we mentioned that the means information of the memory location from where we are going to get my next instruction is generally kept in your program counter. Okay, and through MAR we are going to give the address to the memory location from where we are going to get our data. So first step is my transferring PC to MAR. That means how we are going to do that. PC contents of the PC will be first placed into that internal bus, and it is available in the internal bus. Now it will be placed in this particular MAR. Then address is available in the address bus. Now our processor initiate this particular read signal. What does it mean? It says that we are identifying this particular memory location. Now take the contents of this particular memory location and bring it to the processor. Okay, and in the meantime we are going to increment the values of program counter. We say that program counter is equal to program counter plus 1. That means once we execute the instruction of this particular memory location 300, then next time we have to get it from 301, and after that we are going to put, say, now once read is complete, then what will happen, that information will come from the memory and it will be first placed in your MBR, memory buffer register. Now we fetch an instruction, so the contents of memory buffer register will be transferred to now IR. Once we get this instruction in IR, it is a bit pattern. Now we are going to interpret it, so that information will give to the control unit, and now our control circuit is going to interpret this particular bit pattern, and accordingly we are going to perform the job. Okay, now you just see what is happening. So initially the value of the program counter is your 300. Now we are transferring it to MAR. Okay, in MAR I am getting 300. After it is issuing this read signals, and in the meantime values of program counter is incremented by 1, so I am getting 101 in program counter. So this is the way I can see that initially the values of program counter is 300. Then what will happen, instruction register will be your MBR. So after reading it, it will come to the MBR. So 1940 is coming into this particular IR register. So when we place the information in IR register, this is the end of my fetch cycle. And when we are finishing the fetch cycle, now you just see that value of program counter becomes 301, because here we are adding 1 to the value of the program counter. That means it will say after completion of this particular instruction, next instruction needs to be fetched from this memory location 3000. So from 301. Okay, it is initially 300, then program counter becomes 300 plus 1, 301. So after completion of this particular instruction, now we have to bring the instruction from memory location 301. Now what we are going to do in this particular execution phase, basically this is the arrow, it is showing that already I said that this 940 is going to give me the address of a memory location from where we are going to bring the information. So this is the 940 memory location. So we are going to bring this information and going to place in this particular accumulator register. Okay, so contents of the accumulator register becomes 3. So if I come back to this particular direction, that means from 940 memory location we had 3. So after completion of the first instruction, what will happen, that will be transferred to this accumulator registers. Now contents of this accumulator register will become 3. Now that 3 will come as an input to this particular ALU. Okay, now come to these things, what we are going to do in the execution phase. So fetch already I have explained, and this is the fetch cycle. After completion of the fetch cycle in IR, I am going to get this current instruction, and that will go to the control unit, and control unit is going to interpret it. Already we have interpreted it like that this is format of the instruction. It is having two parts. first part is 4 bits and second part is your 12 bits, total 16 bits. So here it is having the operation, it is going to indicate what operation we are going to perform, and here it is going to get the address of the operand. Okay. So in this particular case, what it is doing basically, you just see that from 940 you are transferring the information and put in the accumulator. So that means what we are doing in this particular execution cycle, you just see this is the contents of IR instruction register. We are going to take the address part of this particular instruction register and going to put it into MAR. So we are giving the address of a memory location, and in this particular example, this contents of this particular MAR is your 940. That means we are going to use the memory location. Okay, 940 memory location. This is the address of memory location. So first we are putting this address in the MAR. Okay, again for clarity we will go back over here. You just see we place the address over here. That means we are coming to this, or we are pointing this particular memory location 940. Then we are giving the read signal. So contents of this particular memory location will be transferred to this particular MBR, and finally what we are going to do, we will transfer it to the accumulator. So you just see these are the operations that we are doing. First we are transferring the address part to MAR, then processor will issue the read signal, then after it is available in the MBR, from MBR we are going to place it into the register accumulator. So this is the transferring happening after completion of this particular instruction. So once you complete this particular instruction, then what we are getting, program counters become 301, the value of accumulators become 3. That means that we have transferred the information from memory location 940 to the accumulators. Then it will go to the execution of the next instruction. Okay. So when we go to the next instruction, now I think picture is clear. Now we can see what it is doing. So first from 301 we are fetching it, we get 5941, and we know that 941 is the address and 5 is one kind of instruction. So what this instruction is doing basically, it is bringing the contents of this particular 941 to the processor, then adding with the contents of the accumulator. So this is 2 we are getting, initially it is 5, and stored back the result in your accumulator. Okay, this is the thing. So this is the operation that we are doing. That means in this particular case, you just see after first instruction we have this 3 in accumulator. When we bring the information from this particular 941, it is available in this particular MBR is now 2. Now this 2 is coming to this particular database, and which is coming as an input to the ALU. Okay. After that, we perform this add operation. My control unit will give that you are going to perform the add operation. I am going to get the result and say result 5 will be stored in this particular set. After that, we are going to transfer this particular temporary result 5 to the accumulator. So now value of accumulator will become 5, and this is the complete of the execution of this particular instruction. Okay. Now what we are doing in the last case, you just save. Now when after completion of these things, now values of program counter is 302. Now in case of 302, what we are doing, we bring it to 941. That means 2 is a kind of instruction and 941 is the memory location. And what it does, values of accumulators is transferred to this particular memory location 941. Okay. So this is the way that we are going to interpret it. So after completion of these 3 instructions, what happens? We have performed the addition on the values that stored in memory location 940 and 941, and result we have stored in memory location 941. Okay, so this is the step we have performed, and we have to now see the internal structure of our processor to see how this effect is going to happen, and accordingly we are going to do our job. So this is the internal representation that we have Now this is the second instruction. Like that again you can see what is the fetch is going to do, then execute, then third fetch and third execute. So after that we have seen this is the format. All the three instruction has to be interpreted in this particular form, and we can explain or we can analyze it what basically what operation we are going to perform with the help of these three instructions. Now after coming to this particular point, now we can say, now we can summarize it like that. So what are the instruction? We have first instruction is your 1940. This is the second instruction 5941. This is the third instruction 2941. And already I have said that it is having two parts. This is the operation part and this is the address of the operand. Okay. This is, and everything is hexadecimal, so it is very easy to convert into the binary format. So this is 940, 941 and 940. This is 1, 5 and 2. Now in the first case what I am saying, what basically we are doing, I am saying that it is LDAM, or we can say this is load accumulator. Say accumulator is a register. We are going to transfer some information from a memory location and bringing it inside the processor and put it into the accumulator. So we said this is your load accumulator or load AC, and the mnemonics I am going to give load accumulator M. That means in M we are going to specify the address of the memory location from where we are going to get the data. So what it does, load AC, load the accumulator by the contents of memory location specified in the instruction. So in the first instruction the specified memory location is 940. So we are going to get the information from 940 and put it into the accumulator. What is the second instruction? I am saying that this is add M, or it is the add accumulator, and what we are going to add? Add the contents of the memory location specified in the instruction. So in this particular case the address of the memory location is specified as 941. So we are going to take the information from 941 and add it to the contents of the accumulator and store the result in the accumulator. So accumulator results become 5, and I said this is added. And what is the third instruction? It is your STAM, or I can say that stored accumulator. So what it does, it will store the contents of the accumulator to the memory location specified in this particular instruction. And what is the memory location? This is your 941. That means whatever value we have in the register accumulator, we are going to transfer it to the memory location 941. So it says store the contents of accumulator to the memory location specified in the instruction. Now these are the three instructions that we are going to interpret. Okay. Now finally users see what we have now. Already I have mentioned about these things, that we are having different level of computer program. One is your high level programming language. You used to write your program in a high level programming language like C, C++, maybe Python, okay, or many more high level languages there. Then what will happen, every machines are having a predefined instruction set, okay. Now in this particular predefined instruction set, we can only use those particular instruction only to perform our operation. So here I am saying that to execute this particular perform this particular addition operation, say in a high level language you are writing y is equal to x plus y, and if you are going to execute these things in this particular hypothetical machine that we have mentioned, like that this is the kind of processor, hypothetical processor that we have, and this is the organization. Then what will happen, to perform this operation y is equal to x plus y, we need three instructions. Okay, first we are going to load the accumulator with the values of x, which is here in this instruction. We are going to give the address of a memory location, then we are going to add it and result will be stored in accumulator, and finally we are going to store the information in the memory location specified by y. And this is the assembly code. That means for every instruction of a machine we are having an assembly mnemonics or assembly code. And finally our machine can understand only binary values, not even binary values, signals high and low. So finally we said these are the machine code in hexadecimal 940, 941, sorry 1940, 5941 and 2941. Again we know that these are the three instructions that we are doing 1, 5 and 2. Along with that we are giving the address of memory location. So already we have seen that in this particular case we are having total 16 bit in a memory location. Out of the 16 bit, 4 bits are used to indicate the operation code or what operation that we are going to perform, and generally in short we say this is the opcode. So for opcode we are going to have 4 bits. Now if we are using 4 bits, that means we are having total 16 possible combination from all 0 to all 1. Okay, these are the 16 different combinations. So in this example, what will happen? We have used only 3 code. One is your 1, which is LDA-M, then 5 is ADM, and opcode 2 is your store accumulator M. Okay. Now out of 16, we have used 3 codes because every operation must have an unique opcode or unique binary bit pattern. So that means since we are already discussed about 3 operations, that means another 13 operation we can design for this particular processor. If we are going to use this particular instruction format, what is this instruction format? For every instruction, I am having 4 bit of opcode and remaining 12 bits are address of my operand. So size of your address is your 12. So in this particular case, if I look into the minimum configuration, then we will find that the size of the address bus is your 12 bits. Okay. So what is the size of the address bus? It is your 12 bits. Now when I am going to have 12 bits of address bus, then what is the maximum size of the memory module that I can connect to this particular processor? It is your 2 to the power 12, which is your 4096, that means your 4K. That means the memory location or main memory that we are connecting to this particular processor is having 4K memory location. Okay. And what is the size of its memory location? You just see that this is the information that we are going to keep in our memory 1940. That means to put this particular 4 hexadecimal digit, we need 16 bit of information. That means in every memory location we are keeping 16 bits. And if I look into the organization, you will find that we will transfer the information through this particular data bus, and here I am having 16 bit of information. So that means the size of this data bus has to be your 16 bit. So size of the data bus is your 16 bit and size of memory location is your 16 bit. So what is the complete capacity of this particular memory module? We are saying that since size of the address bus is your 12, so we can go up to 4K memory location. Now in every memory location we are going to store 16 bit of information, which is nothing but, I can say, 2 into 8, that means 8 bit is going to represent 1 byte. So just I am having this thing. So this is your 4 into 2, so this is 8K, and B is byte. That means total information that we are going to store is your 8 kilobyte. So we can have two notation over here. If I write K and capital B, it is basically kilobyte. If I write K and lowercase b, it will say kilobits. Okay. So this is the way that we are going to say it. Now here I am having 4096 into 2, this is basically 8 kilobit, or I can say this is your 8 into 8 kilobit. byte. So I can write in this particular form. Okay. So 8 into 8 kilo bit. Okay, so lowercase b is indicate it is bits and capital B indicates byte. Okay. Now what we have seen over here, now my instruction format is having like that. This is 4 bits opcode and this is the address. And I know that now we are having with this 4-bit combination, we are having total so this is the 8 possible combination, or I can have like that 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0. So these are the all possible combination, 16 possible combination. That means we can design 16 different instruction. Already we have used this particular code 0001. It is nothing but load accumulator from the memory location M. I think we have used this particular code to 0010. It is basically store accumulator from this particular memory location M. Similarly, I think we have used this particular code 5, and we say what we are doing basically it is your add accumulator. Okay, so I think these are the information that instruction that we are using till now. Okay. Now for other codes, now 0, 3, 4 like that, we can now design some more instruction, and accordingly now we have to find out what are the execution steps for those particular instructions. So in case of designing, you have to identify those particular steps. So in a simple case, I can tell you that depending on the instruction, I said that this is the execution cycle of the first instruction, which is your load accumulator. So first I have to get the address, then read it, and finally put it into the accumulator. So like that, now we have to find out what are the operation or what are the steps that we have to perform while we are going to execute that particular instruction. Now in the try with these things, what we are doing basically, what are the steps that we will be needing for this particular instruction. Say add AC. Okay. So in this particular case, you just see what are the steps that we need to do first. Already we have fetched it, so now we are going to just look for the execution part. So what we are going to do, instruction is already in IR, so we are going to take the address part of this particular instruction. So this is the instruction of code and address part. We are going to take the address part. We are putting it into this particular MAR, then we are going to issue the signal that read it. Okay, so after completion of the read, what will happen? After completion of the read, data will be available in your MBR. Okay, so now what I can do, already we are having some value in accumulator, so this is your accumulator equal to accumulator plus MBR. Okay, so basically in a nutshell we are having these 3 steps, but again to perform this particular operation we may need some more micro step, because otherwise we are going to have some data conflict. All those issues will be discussed when we are going to discuss about the design of our control unit. Okay, so with this I will stop here today. and next class we are going to see some more details about the internal component of our CPU. Okay, thank you.